We're live. Okay. All right. I'm just going to pull the comments up so I can see everybody because I haven't done that yet. But for those who are here, feel free to introduce yourself. I'm going to pull the comments up so I can see everybody. Oh, God. I
hear Mandy's double.
Oh, so much double of me. That just made me cringe very much. I can only handle so much of myself, you know? All right.
Well, good morning or good evening, everybody.
Yes, where is everyone coming from? I already see someone's from Australia.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
What time is it there?
I don't know, but there's a lot of people. Hi, everybody. We're writing today. Let us know what you're writing.
I don't know. I actually don't know where or what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to have a video up soon where I'm talking about what all's going on with me because I had lost some stuff from Scrivener and I had finished my whole outline and now I'm having to start almost midway through my outline and I'm really pissed. And it just made me really bitter about working on my book because I had lots of work to where I'm like, oh my gosh, I like the outline I'd worked so hard on. And I was like, yes, it's done. And Scrivener's now stupid. And so anyway, so I've been just trying to like get back to my outline stuff lately. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to write. I don't know. So
well, did you hear Bethany and Brittany are doing their Save the Cat like write-ins?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to participate because I don't have an idea for my 4th book yet, but I know I need one. So I'm like, this will be great because I hate outlining, and if I outline with other people, I'll feel more motivated. So
I'll try to attend some of their stuff, but usually I think whenever they're doing their stuff is on Wednesdays. And I do every other Wednesday for my writings and stuff. So I might be able to attend some of theirs, but some of theirs I'll probably have to just watch the replay or something.
Ooh, I like seeing. So for anyone who's like watching and have no idea what I'm talking about, Brittany Wang and Bethany Aldezada are doing a write-in like every Wednesday for like 10 weeks, I believe it is, where they're following the Save the Cat novel by Jessica Brody, and they're both going to be outlining a story, and if you attend the write-ins, you can outline the story with them. And I'm going to try to do that, and we're going to see how that goes, because I despise outlining, and yeah. But it's good to see everyone here. I see Megan's here. Hello, Casey. Hello, Jamie. Charles is here. Ryan is here. Heather.
So many fun, friendly, familiar faces out there.
I love having familiar faces in the chat. That's awesome.
I love it too because then it's like I'll remember what like some of their projects are, and then it's fun to see like if they've gotten any further since the last time we all had like met up and stuff.
What is everyone working on today? So do we want to go, like, everyone who's watching, tell us in the chat what you're working on, and then we'll go through each of us. Although, Brooke, you kind of just said what you were working on.
Yeah, I'm still kind of a question mark a little bit of what I'm doing today. I'll just kind of see how I'm feeling whenever it's time for the sprints.
What about you, Natalia?
So I think I'm going to, work on my outline for book 2 in my series because I have like the basic outline there, but I really need to do more work on it because I want to start writing it in March. So that's the first thing. And then second thing is potentially working on my author website and just using this time to kind of do all the office keeping stuff that I've totally fallen behind on. And like emails, I swear I haven't responded to emails in like 2 weeks. It's so bad. So I'm going to be jumping around doing lots of other little things.
I have to do my taxes, but that's...
Oh, your taxes are breaking my heart, you guys, because this is my first year as like a self-employed person. I am shocked at how much I owe in taxes.
Yeah.
It's so bad because I didn't put any money away for taxes. So
yeah,
here's a question,
hurts, doesn't it?
Natalia, since you did like your pet sitting business and stuff like that, would that not be like your self-employment thing? Is that like a different way of still taxing them?
Well, yeah, that's like my main income. That's where I make all my money, is that pet sitting. So I'm taxed as like a self-employed person. And I was under the impression that I do so much driving. I was like, oh, my miles will totally just zero out anything I owe.
Yeah.
Nope. I was so wrong. And I owe so much that they told me, they're like, the IRS recommends that you start paying your taxes quarterly because of like the amount of money I owe.
Right.
So,
Lots of self-employed people do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm learning. This is my first year being like.
So was pet sitting your first time to do that last year too then? I thought you had done it longer. So that's why I was going, oh.
Well, I've definitely done pet sitting longer, but I didn't make any like significant income. Like last year, so for 2017, I was doing like English tutoring, and I worked at like a veterinary hospital for a while. So that stuff was all like normal taxable income. It wasn't self-employed income. So I was shocked. Shocked.
So this will be a whole new ball game for you tax-wise. That sucks.
Yeah, it's a sad month for me.
This is the first time for me having like an LLC, and I was talking to like a few other people who own businesses, and they're like, yeah, you have to do this and this and this and that. And I'm like, oh, I screwed up. I haven't been like, I've been keeping track of some of my expenses, but not like all of them. And my income comes from like all over the place right now. So I'm like, oh, I need to just have a very long day where I work on this.
Right. I wish I was wealthy enough to like hire a personal accountant person to do everything for me.
I know, right?
Yeah, I work at a CPA office, and they do taxes and stuff like that. I don't know a whole lot that they do, but whenever it's time for me to like start having income as an author, I'll be able to be like picking everyone's brains to where I won't have to pay to like ask for questions. I'll just be like, hey, can I just like make a meeting with you this day to like sit down and talk about this? And they'll be like, yeah. And so I'll be like, yes,
that'll be nice.
So I luckily have some type of way of getting information without having to like pay someone to ask questions or something.
I went like this year, I went to like free tax help at the library, and it was so funny because I expected like a lot of people my age to be there, but it was all elderly people, like teens and like hearing aids, and then it was me. Like I was the only person my age there because I think it was like aimed toward that elderly like generation, but I found out about it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Well, why not?
But I was the only person under like 80 in that room.
That's so surprising because of people who are entrepreneurs who are younger. You'd think that they would be wanting to take advantage of that, but anyway, it's interesting.
Oh, it's that season. All right. Let me go back to on topic. So you guys both said what you're working on. I personally am working on the book 2 of the Marketing for Authors series. So that's the book me and Bethany, or the series Bethany and I are working on. So yeah. And I can talk about it now. I had to keep it secret for so long.
I'm excited for you guys. I think that'd be so interesting of an endeavor to work with someone to co-write a book. Or not co-write a book.
Awesome. We're going to
I was just saying I had to correct myself going, wait, you're not co-writing a book though, you're co-writing a series. So I should have.
Yeah. We're going to do a video eventually on it because the way we're doing it is a little different for tax reasons. We want this to be easy tax-wise, so we kind of like tweak stuff a little bit to fit us.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I did not get a word a day. I tried to find one last
I forgot about that.
And I found one on dictionary.com, but I've never heard of this word before. But I'll give it to you guys anyways, because this is all I got. Halidom? Have you guys heard of that before?
How do you say it?
It's let me see. I'll let my phone say it first.
Halidom.
Oh, you heard that right?
Halidom.
Huh.
I've never heard of it.
Halidom. I've never heard of it.
Word. I have no idea what this is.
That's dictionary.com. That's their word of the day. A holy place. Oh, Okay.
That's cool.
I don't know if you can fit that into your novel, depending on what you're writing about. I definitely can't fit that into a book about marketing.
Maybe your office where you work could be your algorithm.
I literally was about to say my writing space is my
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder how, because it says a holy place as a church or sanctuary, so I don't know.
Sanctuary, maybe. Like, this is my
That's true.
safe place.
I'm putting this in the comments, a holy place as a church or sanctuary, and I spelt that one. See, even my computer, I spelled out the word halidom, and it's like, you spelt that wrong. That's how you spell it.
It's like, well, I got it from the internet, and it's because the internet is always right.
If you guys use that word today, you get like 10 points or something. I don't know what the points add up to.
We'll give virtual hugs.
Exactly. And what's better than that?
And Ryan had some fun stuff going on with his daughter, and she's on a robotics team.
Oh,
really neat.
That's awesome.
I would never be able to
robotics team.
I'd never be able to do that. I would have fun like making everything break because I would be able to have it actually function.
My brother would compete in it in high school. He actually went to California for a competition, and he got to meet Grant Amaharma. You know his name from MythBusters. And it was awesome. And now I might be able to meet Adam Savage from MythBusters because he's going to be at BookCon. And
that's cool.
I might make my way over to his booth just for the sake of like meeting him because he's awesome.
That's really neat. I'm meeting just kind of like celebrity type people. It always makes me think like, how would I react? How would I be?
Oh yeah.
You know? Because I don't know how I'd be. I could either be a fangirl or just like, what's up? I don't know how I'll do.
And a bookish obsession said that the 10 points for the word of the day goes to your Hogwarts house.
Ooh, I love it.
I agree with that, so I think we can work with this.
Ooh, okay. Oh wait, are we all Gryffindor?
I'm Gryffindor.
Yeah, we're all Gryffindor. So if we did our thing, we'll have 30 points for Gryffindor.
Yes. Everyone, let us know in the comments what Hogwarts house you are, because I'm curious. I could have sworn, Brooke, I thought you said you were like Ravenclaw or something.
Oh, I am nowhere near Ravenclaw.
Or is it Hufflepuff?
I'm a Griffin Puff.
That's what it was. You're a Griffin Puff. I like that.
I'm calling it. I think I've seen other people do that because I feel like I'm more of a Gryffindor, but I do definitely have like it's probably like 70-30 or 60-40 where I'm Gryffindor and then Hufflepuff and stuff. I've gotten Slytherin a couple times, probably like once on the Sorting Hat, but I've never gotten Ravenclaw just because it's so not me by any means. I'm not a Ravenclaw at all.
I feel like so many writers I meet are Ravenclaws, and I think back, I'm like, does that mean there's something wrong with me?
Yes, I feel like almost the majority of writers are Ravenclaws out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Ravenclaws here.
There is. There's Hufflepuffs. There's actually not a lot of Gryffindors. Mm-hmm. They're in there. You guys are there.
Kevlandia's Slitherclaw. I love that.
That's great.
You have to take the test online.
Yes. Brooke, where was the official, did
you take it on Pottermore?
Yeah, but did you take the official Pottermore test?
Yes.
Okay. And
it's a Sorting Hat Pottermore quiz.
As long as you're legit, because if you're on the fence, you got to take the official test.
Yeah, I've taken the test probably 7 or 8 times because I think it's fun, and then also because I always got Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor. I've never gotten Ravenclaw before.
I've gotten Gryffindor every time, and Phil got Hufflepuff. He thought he was a Gryffindor, and he was so mad. He was like, I'm a Gryffindor, not a Hufflepuff.
That's why taking it multiple times, it's like, okay, this is my groups that I'm more so related with. Megan LaCroix is a Griffin Puff too. Woot!
What do we want to do for our first sprint time-wise? Are we feeling 10, 15 minutes? 5 minutes?
Kind of want to do 15.
Are we feeling daring? Let's have the commenters tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know. Wow, you guys just got real quiet. A lot of creative people / writer end up with Hufflepuff. Oh, as in I end up with a Hufflepuff? Yeah.
I think that's good because Hufflepuffs would be able to support their writers.
They're loyal.
Mm-hmm.
What, Natalia, you know what Greg is? Has he ever been sorted?
Yeah, he is a Ravenclaw.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
And I would see Natalia as a Gryffindor.
Really?
I can see that. Yeah, a Gryffindor. I like these hybrid houses. It seems like a lot of people are saying 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 group.
Everyone's daring. They just want to start off strong. Don't even want to warm it brown.
I like how Kevlandia said, my boyfriend is a Hufflepuff but doesn't want to admit it. Everyone's so ashamed to be Hufflepuffs for some reason, probably just because they're
Hufflepuff. They're loyal.
Yeah, I love Hufflepuffs.
I don't know why that's the only word I can always remember with them. Yeah.
So what would be your like one word for
in the books or
house?
something?
I didn't hear what either of you said.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, if you had to choose one word to describe each house, what would your word be? Because I'm not very good at remembering them.
So, Slytherin is cunning. Ravenclaw is wise / wisdom, which I am obviously not. Hufflepuff is loyal, and then a Gryffindor is brave. Did I get them, or did I say them?
Brave.
Yeah, you say it so. Okay.
Okay. That's how I always remember it as. Okay.
I feel like Gryffindor is like klutzy or like, I don't know. Like it reminds me of like Ron Weasley's out there. They're just kind of like whatever type of personas.
I don't know if Phil's a true Hufflepuff because someone's saying that Hufflepuffs are humble, and well, Phil, he's not quite humble. He's hardworking, true, and loyal, but he's not humble. Okay, are we ready to get started?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to count us down, and we are going to do 15 minutes. Oh, wait, did we want to address music?
I kind of liked where we didn't have music.
Okay, so we're going to do, for copyright reasons, we're going to mute us. So we're all going to be on mute, and you guys can play whatever you want. And when the timer goes off, I'm going to turn myself off of mute so you can hear me say time's up. So, yeah. So 15 minutes starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay. All right, that is time. Everyone come back.
You scared me, Mandi. Did you see me go?
No, I thought you, well, I did, but I thought you went, because you were just so excited.
No, it's because you petrified me. No, I'm just kidding.
How did everyone do?
I did.
My outline is rough. My outline is really rough. I just realized, like, I did so many edits in this past developmental edit that this outline doesn't really apply to my character anymore. So I have to pretty much completely re-outline book 2.
Ah, nice. I love the character arcs.
Ugh.
You said outline book 2?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one who made you jump, Brooke.
It was just like complete silence and complete like into the writing, and then it was like, oh.
I spent apparently 15 minutes just working on one paragraph.
Oh.
Yeah, and I wrote it, and then I basically highlighted it and was like, this needs to go somewhere else. I don't know where, but this is no longer the intro to the chapter. So frankly, I actually got nothing done.
Yeah, I'm still working on my outline because it's all just not the way it was. Sorry, I'm still bitter, if you can't tell. So anyway, so I'm still trying to work on my outline. I'm trying to remember what I had previously written on the outline that was done and stuff. And then, but then at the same time, I am having different ideas and new ideas that I hadn't had before. So I'm like going, oh, okay, well, I guess instead of this, I could do this instead and stuff, because I just need everything to be organized in order for me to continue on at this point that I'm at, because I'm so messy in my draft right now.
Let's see. Everyone else seems to be doing pretty good. We got 409 from Damien, 298 from Kiz, 344 from Melissa, 727 from Jamie. Go Jamie. I think you have the most words. Let's see. 484 by DL Stewart, 275 by Amelia. Oh, and Jamie's been beat out with 909 from Tracy Glass.
Always. Tracy always writes so many words.
Yeah, I was about to say, no surprise.
You are like reigning champion of our like word sprints. Not that we're competing, but if we were.
It's fun to have friendly competition.
Definitely.
But it's never like, ah, damn it, you beat me. Ah, it's never like that. It's just kind of like, oh, cool.
I think that's one of the reasons that Nano works really well for me, because I like follow along with everybody else and I see how many words they've written during November, and then it just makes me want to write more and more and more.
Oh, yeah.
That works really well for me.
Brings out that competitive spirit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do feel like that I was so much more focused on, as soon as I get home from work in November time, that I was writing like instantly. It was like, that's a lot more of what my day-to-day life was in November, because everyone was doing it together. Whereas now that we're not having like people around us all the time that we're always seeing updates about, it's like, oh, I guess I could do this later.
So we need to slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I really like that Bethany and Brittany are doing their like outlining like live streams, because I'm like, I need that accountability.
Wait, are they outlining their own books, or are they outlining a book together?
So they're outlining like a short story. I don't know if it's together or not, because I actually haven't watched the videos on it. I was just talking to Brittany and Bethany like about it, and I was like, oh, I need that. And I signed up to do it without like getting full info, but they're doing either like short story / novella together, or they're writing them separately. But at the end of the 10 weeks, they're going to email like the outcome to everyone or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, that's fun. So, and I need to be accountable, and I need to write a new story, and I don't know what that story is going to be. I have a few ideas in my head, but nothing that's like sticky.
Yeah. For fiction, you mean?
Yeah, for fiction. Because
I knew that you've been kind of halting on that because you have the nonfiction project.
Yeah, but it's so, like, the nonfiction project is just so easy. Like, when I sit down to, like, if I wanted to, sorry, someone's pulling into my driveway. Um, if I wanted to, I could finish editing this book today. Like, if I just took the whole day, I could finish editing it. Like, it's because these books aren't like full-length books. They're short, like they're gonna be short pocket-sized books. Just so people can choose, like, if the series works best together. But if they know marketing as a whole, but they like struggle on this one thing, they can just read that one book. And we like separating them out by subject and different stuff like that. But yeah, so the books are short. They're like 20,000 words, I want to say. And it's nonfiction, so it's not like you're worrying about character arcs and plot and different things like that. You're just putting down the facts, giving your own personal story. And I really hope my fiance gets the door because the doorbell just rang.
I didn't even hear it.
It was quiet. It was quiet because I'm in like the farthest part of the house right now.
Well, that's cool that you're having fun with that, and it's probably like a nice, refreshing way of doing a book because we are so focused on making sure everything makes sense, that there's no plot holes or something like that. So it just would be kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna be doing this, and it's just kind of like focusing more on the material rather than like.
Oh, it's been so nice because like I got so stressed out like with She's Not Here, whether it was the publishing process or just the writing process did not go smoothly just because I had to rewrite it so many times. And I love the story, but by the end of it, I was just like, I was so done with the story.
Yeah. Just kind of get burned out sometimes. Sean Locke, by the way, said, you never have to feel obligated to answer the door. He gave permission, Mandi, to sit on your butt.
I heard Philco running. I just heard his footsteps like, do, 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 do. I'm like, oh, cool, he's got it. So what do we want to do for a next sprint? Because I personally, that 15 minutes obviously wasn't long enough for me to get anything done.
I think a longer one would be good. Yeah, that we're warmed up a little bit.
Now, how much longer? People in the comments, let us know. Like 20, 25. If you're really daring, 30, but that's up to you guys.
Man, there was one point whenever I was working on my outline in that last sprint to where I was like so in the zone to where I was like, what if they're trying to like talk to me and I can't because I had it on mute for some reason. I was thinking, what if I don't like hear them or something? And I'm like, blah, 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 as you guys are talking.
Oh, don't worry. You heard me.
Oh, yes, I did.
Let's see. So we're kind of all over the place.
Is it Tika or Mew?
This one is Mew. Want to say hi? Come on up.
Oh, we love when people say hi.
Or fur people say hi.
Fur people preferred, actually. Look at her. Hold on. Click on the screen. Oh, she's got little chin rubs, right? Or
yeah, she loves little chin rubs.
Aww.
Natalia, I think I've already told you she reminds me of Sassy from Homeward Bound, right?
Yep, absolutely. I'm pretty sure Sassy's a rag doll. I used to love that movie when I was a kid.
Oh, they don't make kids movies like how they used to, I swear.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was like, oh, the ultimate. I love that movie.
I liked the one where they talked because there was like a Homeward Bound where they didn't talk and then a Homeward Bound where they did.
Really? Really? I don't remember that.
I didn't see the one where they didn't talk. I've only seen the one where they do talk.
Yeah,
that's the best one. That's the one I really liked, and it's like different dogs and different cat and everything.
If I remember, I felt like Cat was Sassy, if I remember correctly. I can't remember though.
It was like Sassy, Chance, and Shadow.
Oh, I
watched that movie a lot when I was growing up.
I didn't mean name. I meant attitude. Like I maybe I'm wrong. But if the cat's name was Sassy, then I totally meant that. That's what I meant. So people are saying I see mostly like 20 minutes and a few 30 and 25. So I personally kind of want to do 25.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
All right. Oh my God, Megan, your rag doll has I don't know. Oh, it's Sunday. Megan has a rag doll that's turning or just turned 15.
That's an old cat.
Oh, kitty. I talked to someone who had a cat that was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm only a few years older than that cat.
That's weird to think about. It's like, dude, that cat is living it up.
Oh, okay. So we're going to do 25. And again, no music. You guys can turn on your own music and I'll jump and scare everyone when time's up.
Yay!
Okay,
Okay, sounds good to me.
Oh, Ryan has a cat named Harry that's 18.
Dude.
Crazy.
Yeah, cats can definitely live to be older if they, if they're really taken care of.
I hope so. Moon's like 2 or 3, and I'm gonna be so sad when he's like gone because he's such a good cat.
Mm-hmm. What's a sausage dog? Is that like a wiener dog?
I think.
I've never heard of that. That's funny. That's funny, Jade, that you had with a sausage dog. I think that sounds so cute. I would think that it sounds like a wiener dog. And it's 18. Golly, and that's a dog. That's not a cat. That's an old dog. Anyway, sorry, we can get back to the sprints. I'm just
we can talk more about cats and dogs afterwards.
I'm convinced Harry is immortal.
All right. All right. So we're gonna do 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Muting.
We're done.
Oh, that one got me. That one got me good.
I noticed very much.
Oh, okay.
I believe, Mandi. You scare every time.
Did I scare you too?
Did you see me? I did it again. I was like,
I didn't see you, but I saw Natalia. That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
oh, really? What did Natalia do?
She just went like,
And I was expecting it too. I was like, I was waiting for it, and it still scared me.
How did everybody do?
I scared everyone.
I saw your comment. Like someone, I forgot. I don't know what like led up to it, but you had said whoever makes the last noise is the star or whatever. And she was like, and usually it's Brooke. I was like, oh my gosh, that made me laugh.
Because me and Natalia are usually pretty quick to mute ourselves. I just don't want to be on screen.
I didn't even think of that because I'm not able to see who's on the screen because my computer's stupid. Like it's always buffer. Like whenever I'm looking at this old computer, it's always buffering the screen. So it's never like the screen is never keeping up, but the comments do. So I never see who it's landing on. So I didn't know it was of me. Next time you guys talk last.
Oh. See, now I didn't know you didn't know that. So now you know, and now there's more of a chance of
yeah, I didn't know that's how it all worked for some reason. I don't know why I didn't put that together, but
well. We got some major, well, everyone else got some major writing done. This sprint went better for me than the last one, but I had to look something up on my website, and now I realize there's an issue with my website that I'm going to have to fix after this.
oh god. I need to, I'm trying to like update my website, but then I never want to like totally update it because I know I'm going to want to change it like a month from then. I'm like that. I'm like, well, no, I don't like this. I'm going to change this again. And so I'm needing to just be like, no, Brooke, stick with one thing because you change it all too much. So trying to do that.
I need to learn from like Bethany and Brittany. Because Brittany does like author websites, right?
Yeah.
Mine, like, I have a Wix now, but mine is just super simple. Like I've never really put the time into it that I need to.
Yeah, but I like how simple yours is, though. It's just like nice and clean and stuff.
Right.
So I like how yours is.
I guess that kind of reflects me, kind of minimal and simple.
Right. Exactly.
My website just went through, or it's going through like a change right now where the domain shifted, like the website host shifted, like it's a WordPress website, but it's not hosted through WordPress. I keep logging into the wrong version of the website and seeing an old version of the website, and I'm like, this all needs to be fixed. And then I look at the domain and realize it's the wrong domain, and that's why. So, story of my life there. But it looks like everyone got some decent writing done. Amelia got 359. Lori got 660. Daphne 465. Damon 720. Oh boy, that's a lot of comments. What about you guys? How'd you guys do?
I'm coming back. Hold on. Natalia, you go first.
I feel like this was pretty good. Like the first sprint, I realized how messed up my outline is. But this sprint, I know we like talk about this all the time, but I pulled this out and started going through like the beat structure. And I'm now like starting to restructure the outline, and it's already feeling better.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's just, I'm on to the catalyst beat. So that's the fourth beat that I'm working on now.
I am still on the same chapter I'm writing, but I did more than 2 paragraphs, so that's good.
Nice.
Start off small, then you'll always keep growing.
Yep.
In my outline, I think Jamie in the comments was asking me earlier because she knows that I have a big, huge chunk of first draft that's already done, but I'm not overall done with my first draft. So she was like going, so what exactly, how are you outlining with the, already having a first draft done? I like working on my outline after I've already got things going, because then I'm able to put the puzzle pieces together more. And then I'm able to be thinking of ideas to add more meat to later on and stuff. I just feel like that works for me better and everything. Like, do you guys prefer outline and then writing, or do you write and then outline after?
I did kind of what you're doing now with She's Not Here, where I wrote it. I actually wrote it multiple times before, like multiple versions of it before I kind of sat down and was like, okay, this isn't working. I need to outline it. So I wrote an outline, which was really just a few paragraphs about each chapter. And then, like, as I was writing, I would literally have the Word document of the outline open, and I would, like, alter the outline if I needed to, and then be able to alter everything that happened afterwards, because I'm not good at following outlines.
Yeah, and I kind of, I had a similar thing happen when I was working on Song of the Dryad, because I wrote, you know, as I've mentioned before, I did a NaNoWriMo with Song of the Dryad and then threw out 49,000 words. And then I wrote a bunch more to Song of the Dryad, and then I went to a workshop with Maggie Stiefvater and Courtney Stevens and realized that I needed to completely re-outline. So I ended up doing that, and I took a month off of writing to completely write a full outline, and that helped me a lot. And now, of course, I do everything so fully. Like, I outline every single part of my book, and then that outline, you know, will slightly change and get altered as, you know, as the book goes along, but I'm pretty good at sticking to those.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I like, my goal with this fourth book is, because I'm going to be like outlining before I even start writing the story, I really want to try hard to like really like do this by the book.
Yeah, I mean, there's just something for me that's like, I can't allow myself to be like, to have creative freedom unless I have an outline. Because if I don't have that, then anything could happen. Like, you could literally put anything in your book, and that's just too much pressure for me. So when I have an outline and it gives me like guidelines, I have to stick within, you know, this, then I feel like I can be more creative within, you know, those guidelines rather than being able to write anything.
Right.
Well, even before I write an outline, like, I have an outline in my head, and I know like the order of things and stuff like that. So I'm able to, like, at least for the first half of the book, and maybe for like random scenes later on and stuff. But like, I don't know, I guess I'm a plantser where I'm a pantser kind of at first, even though I have some structure going on in my head, but then I just have to organize it later. But I can totally understand, like, I don't think I've ever pantsed a book where I have no idea at all of what is going to happen at some point. You know what I mean? I don't think I would be able to do that, where it's just kind of like, yeah, we'll see what happens, because I have no freaking idea as of right now or something.
I think that happened when I was writing I Am Mercy. Because, like, the beginning of the book was so clear to me, but I was like, I have no idea how this is going to end. And it was weird because it was a prequel to Essence. So I knew, like, this needed to happen at the end, but it wasn't, like, the thing that needed to happen wasn't, like, a big climax. So I'm like, I got to create my own climax. How do I do that? So it was a very interesting, although that was the easiest book I've ever written, just because it just came so, like, I didn't have to try. Like, I wrote that book in a few months. It was easy. It was weird. I wish I had that problem again.
Right.
Yeah. Is that Moon?
Yes. When our last sprint was going on, the door is closed, and I just heard him meowing. So I let him in, and he's been chilling out. Hi.
Did you see me laughing at the screen? Because I was seeing that you were playing with Moon. And I was like, oh. And then I was like going, wait, people are probably just seeing me like at the screen going, oh. And then they're like, going,
nice. Yeah, I was like, dude, you're being distracting, but I can't help but cuddle with you. So we said we wanted to keep this about 2 hours. So if we do another long sprint, this is probably going to be our last long sprint. So, oh yes, all hail Moon, our cat god.
Yes.
Anyways, so what I was saying was, do we want to do one long sprint or like 2 short sprints?
And then the one other thing we could do is do like 1 sprint and then save time at the end for questions.
Yeah, we can do that too. So it's all up to you guys. Do you guys have questions? What do you want to ask us? Sean's bowing out now. Thank you for joining us, though. Where's Sean? Short. Let's see. 2 short ones. You guys like short ones? Ooh, if you do short ones, how short do you guys want them?
Bye, Sean. I like the.
Let's see. I'm waiting.
If we did 2 short ones, would you want to do a 10 and a 10 or a 10 and a 15 or something like that?
If we want to do like questions, we should probably do a 10 and a 10. Let's see. I don't mind which one. Maybe 15, 1 long, 1 short. You guys are all over the place.
Has anyone used halidome in your book yet?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was in
your house. Yeah, I haven't written that yet either. It's hard to do that.
When was that word? Like, what is the history of that word? Does it say?
Well, let me see if I can find out. Hold on. I still got this open. See full description. We're going to give you guys a history lesson. Or maybe not. Okay, origin. Yeah, before 1000, Middle English, Old English. That's it.
Okay, so that's an old word. Gotcha.
Yes. Historical examples of halidom. You were by, hold on. Okay. You were by your halidom, your majesty.
Who wrote that?
Joe Jared.
I love Old English.
John Doe in the chariot. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. And then now by my halidom, good sirs, you know not with whom you have dealt with, and that's from the Empire Annual for Girls, 1911.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh, here's another one. By my halidom, thou wilt sacrifice, find a foot-page in the whole camp that will support thee. And that was Siege of Norwich Castle by Matilda Maria Blake.
Okay.
All right.
You talking like that made me want to go. Okay, does anyone get this reference at all? There's a line from Romeo and Juliet where they go, "I bite my thumb at you, son."
Yeah.
And I always liked how my English teacher, he was like, back then, that was like giving someone the middle finger. Oh, you bite your thumb at me? Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyway. Did you ever see the movie with the young Leonardo DiCaprio?
So
no, I haven't.
Oh, that one. I like that one. That one's really good, but the one in the 60s is so good. Like the acting.
That one. I've never seen the 60s. I've just seen the Leonardo DiCaprio one.
The 60s one is so good.
I've seen one. I don't know if it was from the 60s. It was old. That's all I remember.
I like the Leo DiCaprio version, but what's the director's name? He did Moulin Rouge. He's what's his name? Baz Luhrmann. I think that's his name. He's very out there, and there's times where I love his work, and there's times where I'm like going, "You're losing it, dude." Right. To where it's like I like him, but then there's times where I'm like, and stuff. And so I think that's why I prefer the 60s one, is because it's a little bit more like normalcy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and I remember when I first saw that, I was in like 9th grade and we were studying Shakespeare, and I hated it when I was in 9th grade. I was like, this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen. But then the more I watched it and the older I got, the more I appreciated it and just like enjoyed it for its entertainment value.
I didn't like it in high school, but in college I took a Shakespeare course and it was amazing.
I really think it has to deal with the teacher. Like, if you're passionate about it, then you would have fun with it.
My
Yeah.
professor would act out scenes in front of the whole class. Like, he got real into it. He was perfect for it.
Mhm.
And I didn't care. Like, I hated it because every week we had to read a whole new play.
Yeah.
And I was also taking, like, other English classes. So that's, like, was just a crap ton of reading.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is awful, but it's so awesome all at once.
Mhm. Yeah, I really didn't think I was going to enjoy my Shakespeare course, but I ended up loving it. Like, once I learned how to read it and understand what was going on, like, some of those plays are hilarious, but you wouldn't really know unless you understand.
Right, you have to have someone to kind of translate the funny.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I love the comedies. I was never a big fan of, like, the dramas or whatever, but the comedies I love so much.
Yeah, I kind of prefer more of the tragic stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's also because I did, like, dinner theater in high school where we performed Shakespeare plays.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We did Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was a fairy, and that was a lot of fun. And then we did Hamlet, and I was a grave digger.
Ooh.
I got really great parts in school.
You're on the stage, but you're not quite.
I did, like, we didn't have many speaking parts in Hamlet. Like, we had, like, maybe 9 people who had speaking parts, and I was one of them. So I was like, okay, I'll take it, because there are some people who they're just, like, there and they don't.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I guess I'll take this. I had to talk in my horrible English accent. It's not good.
Oh, I think that would make for a great YouTube video, just
right.
Oh, yeah. I've made a YouTube video where I did my Southern accents, and I thought I was embarrassing myself, and I got actually lots of good responses, like, "Hey, you actually do that good," and I was like, "I do." I'm so shocked because I was like, thought it was horrible.
That's funny. So it sounds like most people were leaning towards 10 and 10, and then a Q&A.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
Sorry, distracted with Shakespeare talk.
That's okay. It's always okay to talk about Shakespeare. So I'm gonna, if you guys want to, like, think of questions, don't send them in yet, because I don't want them to get, like, lost in the comments, because they will. So yeah, we're just gonna start 10 minutes now, so we have time. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I noticed no one else talked, so now I'm the last one. Time's up. Oh, do I always scare everyone?
It's not.
I was okay that time because I turned my volume down.
Oh, okay. There we go. Oh,
Natalia's like, not this time, Mandi.
my cat has my toe in his claws right now.
Ooh.
Buddy, just because I moved doesn't mean it's time to play. Okay. How did everyone do?
Jamie says you got her good.
Oh my God, Moon.
And a bookish obsession is almost done with the outline. They've got one more chapter left. That's good.
Nice.
It's always so fun when you know the near outline is almost done and complete.
Oh, buddy. I gotta hold him because he's gonna just keep grabbing my toe otherwise. How about you guys? How'd you do?
I guess just because it wasn't like I wasn't settled into it yet.
Yeah. Oh my God, Tracy got 701. You just read my book for me.
Yeah.
I will never know how you do this, Tracy. I will never know.
Do you outline, Tracy? That's what I want to know. Is it that you just have a really good outline, so then you're just like dumping down the info?
That is a good question.
I would like to know. Or are you just really good at pantsing it? I didn't get much done.
Look at Moon.
I got a little bit done, but not much.
Oh.
You'd never know he was just destroying my toe. Oh, yeah, he's just a weird cat. Let's see. Was there anything we want to discuss before we go into our last sprint so we can do questions?
I had something I wanted to discuss, but I wanted to make sure that other people could ask things first, because I think ours will get into a rant of things probably.
This is for later, for after the next sprint, or?
Oh, Evie's here.
Oh, we noticed that at the same time. Wait. Mm-hmm. Hola, Evie. So was it a question for after this last sprint?
It could do either one. I just know that it's a conversational type of topic.
We can have a conversation.
But I don't want to take away from someone wanting to ask something or wanting to talk about something. Your cat is so floppy.
He's floppy. He's strange. He lets me do anything. He's just laid back. Phil's very like handsy with him, so it's a good thing because I think otherwise Phil would get like clawed. By any other cat, he would get clawed. But Moon's just, I don't know. He's floppy. He does whatever. We've had him since he was a kitten, and we were always constantly holding him, so I think that has a lot to do with it, but it's also just him. It's his personality. How do I do that with Moon without getting clawed, they ask? Huh? I don't know.
Well, I do have a conversational topic thing that I don't know if you'd rather save it for after the sprint.
Now.
Okay, so has anyone heard of the theory? Since we were talking about Shakespeare earlier. Has anyone heard of the theory that Shakespeare was either not the true author and writer of his plays? Because I think that is a very, very good theory out there that I could see totally being true.
I heard that Shakespeare was actually a woman, I think.
Really? I haven't heard that one. What I've heard, which makes complete sense, since Shakespeare had lots of his plays where he would be writing about, like kind of he would sometimes be poking fun at royalty or like certain people who were alive and existed or whatever, where it was like noblemen who were writing these plays, but they didn't want to get in trouble for the content that they were writing. And they had like a scapegoat guy to be like, this is the guy who really wrote them in case they ever would get in trouble for their writing and stuff, which I think that totally makes sense. Because also they said that Shakespeare had never, I don't think he like finished really a good education level and stuff. And they've even shown pictures of like his signature on stuff. And every time you look at these pictures of his signature, it doesn't look like anything. It looks like chicken scratch. And it looks like he can barely even write out his own name. So it's like, how is this guy writing all of these plays and all of these works when he can barely write? And it just is really interesting. And so I haven't heard about him being a girl, though. I can see that happening too.
So there was that, and then there's also a theory. Someone mentioned in the comment that he took someone else's work, which is also a theory. But then the other theory that I heard is that it was actually multiple people.
Yep. I was just listening to a podcast about that like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, because we talked about this actually in my Shakespeare class, and how they analyze like syntax, and like how a certain person, like one person will have different syntax than another person. I forget what the results were, but it was really interesting.
I guess we'll never really know, will we?
Do you remember a lot about the podcast that you were listening to about it?
They were mostly talking about, and this was at nighttime, so I was like falling asleep as I was listening, but they were talking about how there's no like hard evidence or proof of these plays that have been found. And they were talking about how they think that it was many people kind of collaborating, and how it was never just one person that was Shakespeare.
Yeah. And I do know, like, I think there is some truth to Shakespeare, whether it was one person, 2 people, or whatever, that he did steal ideas, because there was one story that was very, very similar. I forget which one, but it was very similar to another play or something. So I remember that one had some truth to it. But that goes for anything. Like, there's no new story. Like, there's only a new way to tell it.
Right.
But the parallels were like, oh, that's like really similar.
I guess back then it would be more, in my opinion, stealing, because there weren't like all of these stories that we're already used to. Whereas kind of now it's kind of like every story is based off of another story. But back then I feel like the written word was still like in development to where it would be probably more so stealing ideas.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would love for Netflix to do a documentary on this.
Oh, I think it'd be
really
so cool. Be so
interesting.
Oh my god, I've been like totally binge watching all their original stuff recently, and like I started off with like the Ted Bundy tapes, and then just went down like a rabbit hole. I'm like, this is great.
You know, Netflix has been, you know how there's something that pops up and it's like, this is our like top picks for you. So the Ted Bundy stuff has been popping up for me, and I have no idea why they would recommend that, because I hate that kind of stuff. Like anything that's like murder or like that thing, that show that's out with like the weird guy that's like a stalker.
I just watched You, but it's so good, Natalia. It's so good.
Well, is it going to scare me? Because I hate shows that make me think that I'm going to get murdered by a stalker. Like I hate it. I don't need that in my head.
If you were in the dating game still, it might scare you.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Nope.
I think you're locked down. I lowered your chair. You're locked down.
Yes.
But I thought You was very interesting, because just his character, like, if
he was very layered.
Oh yeah, if I was in that situation, I'd be the stupid one who would be like, he's fine. I'd get murdered.
It's a really well developed show, in my opinion. I really liked that one.
Yeah, and then the Ted Bundy tapes was good, but I've always been obsessed with like the serial killer stuff.
God, I hate that stuff.
I love it. It's so funny.
Find it so interesting, especially the Ted Bundy tapes was really interesting, just because like he was getting convicted and he like turned away his lawyer. Like his lawyer did a great job defending him, and he got so mad at his lawyer because he wanted to do his own thing and fired his lawyer. And I was like, but the lawyer just like, if I was in the jury and I heard that, I'd be like, oh, okay, he's innocent, like whatever. But he like, I don't know. I just thought it was so interesting. It was really good. But yeah.
Did we want to go into our final sprint?
Yeah, we'll go into our final 10-minute sprint. That way we can go into questions. So people keep your questions in mind, and once we're done, we will ask for them.
Cool.
So I hope I don't get stuck on screen again because we're doing this in. Hold on. I'm going to get ready. This is a game now. All right. We're doing 10-minute sprints in 5, 4. Damn it. You guys are. I didn't see you already muted yourself. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2. Wait. 1. We're back. Oh, I'm sorry if I laughed really loud just then. Oh, Brooke.
Oh, woman, you scary.
It was real high.
I think you do it on purpose. Like, ha ha.
The only time I did it on purpose was the time I put my face really close to the camera and did it.
Next time I'm hosting, so I'm gonna be like on the prowl, trying to
wait. Oh, how'd you guys do?
Pretty well, I'd say.
Damien Faust, military time. What is that?
7:56.
Okay.
Really?
Thank you. I was just kind of like going, I have no idea what time that is.
I just moved stuff around that last round. I had some organizational cut and paste things.
Me too. That's what I was doing because I have. It's like do you want this situation here or do you want this situation here? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like subplotty things and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was doing that time.
Oh, I scared Boho Bookworm too. So while you guys are also telling us your word count, you can let us know if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer or topics to discuss, like Shakespeare and murder movies. Well, let's see. How did people do anyways? Let me scroll. And we got 264 for DL Stewart, 99 for Phoebe, 268 for Lori, 753 for Tracy, 230 for Words Fall, and 106 handwritten by FC. That's not bad. I'm not a quick handwriter, so
my hands would die if we did not have laptops and computers nowadays to write our books.
Right? I have terrible handwriting too. Let's see. Did you guys want to? Oh, wait. Sorry, I got distracted. A question came in. I got excited. So Wordfall asks, how detailed should I get my outline? How do I make a good outline? Does anyone want to start? Natalia, you look pretty happy.
I mean, I love talking about outlines, but I'm in the camp of people that have very highly detailed outlines. And I know that some people don't like that because they think that, or they feel that they can't be creative if their outline is too limiting. Like they've already told the story and they're not excited about it. But I've even sometimes I even write conversations into my outline that I want, characters to have. So personally, I get extremely detailed, but I know that that doesn't work for everybody.
I do it very vague. Like I said, I do it chapter by chapter, and then that may change with the fourth book since I'm doing it more like the Save the Cat style. But I just write chapter 1, this is what happens. Chapter 2, this is what happens.
Exactly.
It's a Word document, and that's all it is.
I do it chapter by chapter too. And it depends on what all is going on in the chapter, where if I'll be vague or if I'll do kind of what you do, Natalia, where it's like, if I want a character to say this line, I will have it to where have so-and-so say this to so-and-so or whatever, just to make sure that it's like, don't forget this line because you like this and you want to keep that type thing. So I'll be vague in certain chapters where it's just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of like a shorter chapter anyway, or I'll be very detailed if I'm wanting it to be like, this is how I picture it and it needs to be going down this way.
DL Stewart asked, speaking of Shakespeare, did they have copyright laws back then or was everything public domain?
I have no idea.
So while you guys were talking about outlines, I Googled it real quick because I was curious. And I just put one was copyright established. So the first thing of copyright was enacted in England in 1710. So that's when copyright became a thing. That's why anything that came before that, and it was established even later in the U.S. But anything before that is public domain, which is why, Shakespeare. And so technically, did Shakespeare steal ideas? I don't know. It wasn't copywritten. So
another weird thing about Shakespeare, really, really quick. I had watched a YouTube video where they had gone over it and stuff like that. And they said in his will that he wanted his family or something like that to have his house, but he never mentioned any piece of writing work at all in his will. He didn't have anything like, I want this to this to this about this sonnet and this, but you know what I mean? You would think someone with so many pieces of work in their career that they would be somehow mentioning something of books.
You mean right? Like, I don't know, like the prophet, because he made profit off the plays.
Yeah, I forgot how it was worded. It was Kendall Ray had covered it. If anyone watches Kendall, I forgot how it was worded, but I mean, how she pointed it out, it was just kind of like, yeah, this is a guy whose whole life is this, and he's not going to be bringing this up at all. Anyway, it was just interesting. So let's continue back to what we were talking about.
I'm probably gonna look all this up later. Just saying.
Watch Kendall Ray's video on it. It's very, very interesting.
So Miss Raven Queen 99 said, do any of you draw your characters?
I used to do a bunch of drawings.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and then I also used to commission character artwork all the time. Like that was my gift to myself, but I don't do that as often now because my money goes toward like actual publishing things.
Yeah.
More of the time, most of the time now.
Phil's sister is an artist, so she actually drew a very good drawing of Willow from She's Not Here and of Randy Ash from She's Not Here as well. And she did it like it was a realistic drawing. I was like, oh my God. She's like, oh yeah, I just like doing this. I'm like, yeah, you're self-taught. Okay.
I remember I had drawn a character because I was trying to like get their ensemble right. I knew that I wanted like their outfit to look a certain way. And I was like going, how do I picture this in my head? And like, how do I word this onto a page? And so drawing it out helped me a lot with that.
Yeah, I don't draw that well. I can draw.
I don't either.
I used to draw a lot. Now I don't. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Let's see. A bookish obsession said, how do you know when you're spending too much time on your story? That's actually a very good question. I assume like, how do you know when you're beating a dead animal? That's a bad, but you know what I mean?
I'm used to hearing beating a dead horse, not a dead animal. That I don't know why.
Oh, it's the same horse? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like beating a horse or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could either take it that way, or it could be like, how do you know when you're like not having balance in your life? A bookish obsession, I think you need to clarify. Like, do you mean, like artistically, are you spending too much time on it? Or do you mean like with time balance in your life, are you spending too much time?
I had done that with a previous book. It was like the first book that I had ever published, self-published, and that was the only one I did. But I felt like I wanted to go over it so many times to where I forgot how many numbers of times I'd gone over it. And every time that I would go over it, I wasn't really changing plot stuff. It was more so just like grammar and spelling. And I was doing that over and over and over again. And it was just kind of like going, you got to be done sometime. All of like the story part, it was like that all kept being the same. And I didn't feel confident enough to get it out there into the world, which most of the time you're never going to feel, I feel like overall 110, 20% with it. And so that's how I would say it. It's like, if your story is not changing, like after however many times you're doing more and more drafts, I feel like your story is fine. I think you're just being a dead horse at that point or something, but that's just me.
There's also like, are you working on a story that's just, you can't make it work, and should you just drop it and move on to another project? Because I've done that before. There's a not even half finished story of a book that I was just writing for fun, but I realized after a while it was just a fun story to write and it wasn't that good. But I'm like, oh well, it was practice, moving on.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was helpful though. Let's see. What'd she say? Beating a dead horse is the term. Oh, wait. And Brooke, you answered her question.
Woo!
Natalia, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, I don't think so. I tend to be the opposite way around. When I was, publishing my early works, I had a tendency to rush it and not do enough editing. So I'm definitely in the camp of people that, I needed to learn how to spend more time rather than spending too much time.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like two campers in that. It's like where you do too much, or you don't do enough, and you can't really find a good balance until you've just improved as a writer over time. With experience and practice and just time. I feel like it just ages you as so much as a writer.
So this question is from Jamie. If you feel your outline is flawed while writing your first draft, would you suggest finishing the draft and then fix it all during editing, or stop drafting and fix the outline? I'm going to say what I think is the right answer. Because I feel like this can vary from person to person. Because sometimes, I'm just going to answer. I think to save yourself a lot of time, you should just stop the draft and fix the outline. Because if you write the draft following the flawed outline, then you have to rewrite the draft anyways. So you're just wasting time and you're giving yourself a huge headache.
That's why I'm writing my outline, even though I'm not done with my first draft. I just am knowing that I need to have it to where everything is square before I continue on. Because otherwise, if I finish my draft and then I'm looking back over everything again, and then I'm like going, okay, I need to update my outline. I just would rather get this done where I'm like going, okay, I'm good to go now.
Yep. Yeah, I did the same thing with Song of the Dryad. I had to take a month off from drafting in 2018, I think it was. 2017. Beginning of 2017, I took an entire month off of writing to redo my whole outline. So I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah. This one's a good question. It comes from Four-Eyed Introvert. Where do you stand on the said rule? I'm confused about the whole thing.
Oh gosh, I have such strong feelings about that.
Oh, do you really? Oh,
yeah.
So I'm curious, which side of the thingy are which side are you on?
Well, if I'm reading this question correctly, then I totally believe that you should stick with said instead of doing, spat and hissed and growled and yelled and whispered. I definitely find that when I'm reading work by somebody that is new to writing, I see so many dialogue tags like that, and it really pulls you out of the experience, because most of the time if you read, and of course I'm sure you can find exceptions to this, but most of the time when you're reading, traditionally published work by authors that have been at it for a while, they're not using crazy dialogue tags every single time. Because they just lose their power and they become overkill.
Yeah.
So I use said as much as possible unless I really need to use something else. Like if it's, a really tense moment and the characters are really talking quietly to each other, then I'll use, whispered. But other than that, it's always said for me.
Yeah, I do my dialogue tags sparingly. I use probably said 95% of the time. Or I will, instead of saying spat, hissed, whatever, instead of doing stuff like that, I would do where it's kind of like someone says something of dialogue, and then we have it to where so-and-so made a fist at their side, and then do another line of dialogue. And so,
action.
Yes.
Yeah, action instead of a dialogue tag, definitely.
Yeah.
That's
how I do it, and to where you're avoiding a dialogue tag, but you're just putting it with some type of other way of describing how the character is feeling besides needing to have them hiss.
Yeah. Oh, and it's funny. I've read a lot of people, a lot of work by people that, they'll have a sentence of dialogue and, it'll be the character hissed, but then there's not even an S. So how can you hiss something that doesn't have a sound? And I know that that's just silly, but that for me, I'm like, you can't hiss something that doesn't
unless they're speaking in parcel tongue.
Oh my God.
But yes, yeah, totally agree for sure.
Well, the theory behind it, because I don't think you might have touched upon it a little bit, but the theory behind using said instead of any other dialogue tag is just because when you're reading, you don't even really, as the reader, read the word said, and you want it to be as natural as possible. So that's the whole reasoning behind that. And it's okay to throw it in every now and then, but you definitely don't want it a lot. Boho Bookworm says, I usually feel comfortable writing from a female perspective, but in my latest novel, I'm really enjoying writing the male's point of view. Which gender do you enjoy writing more? So do you guys have anything where you write in like a different gender perspective? No?
I used to, like when I, when I was on forums and stuff, like role-playing forums, I used to have a bunch of different characters. So I would write from male and female perspectives. But as of now, I've only ever written novels from a female perspective.
What about you, Brooke?
Well, I have written from a male perspective, but it's never been where I've been seriously pursuing writing a book. It's never been in first person. I'm always writing in third person, which I eventually want to change it up later on. But if I do write from a male perspective, I do write it from third person perspective. But it is still very different whenever you're writing that way still, because you are kind of just putting yourself into another person's shoes that way. And it is really fun to write from a male perspective, honestly, because then you can just kind of have a new way of going about telling that chapter and stuff. That's just interesting and fun, especially if they're a bad guy.
Yeah, I've written male characters, but not only from third person perspective. So again, it's not the same as being first person writing a male. I would say third person wise, if I had to choose writing male or female, I would probably still choose female because I know females better. I am one. And when you do a different gender, you want to make sure you do it justice. I don't know. So a bookish obsession says, I can't figure out the outline for the last few chapters, but know the general events. Should I stop outlining and just start writing? Okay. As a plantster who likes to plot and pants, I just write. That does not necessarily mean that's the right thing to do.
I was going to say, if you were trying to come up with like your ending of your book and you're not sure of how to go about outlining it, instead of typing it, I feel like I will have a different way of creativity writing it with my hand. I don't like to write a book by hand, but if you're trying to come up with ideas, I feel like for some reason you have a new surge of ideas whenever you're writing by hand. I don't know why. I just feel like the ideas just flow that way. So if you were trying to change stuff up, that's what I would suggest.
What about our outliner in the room?
As a 100% plotter, I say finish your outline before writing, because if you don't, then, maybe you realize that the ending you gave your book needed like all these breadcrumbs to lead up to it. And now, oh my gosh, you didn't leave any breadcrumbs. Now you have to edit everything. Like, I'm just 100% plotter. So I think across the board, we're all going to say something different, but I would finish the outline first.
It's all about the breadcrumbs.
Yes. I love the breadcrumbs.
Did I miss any questions? I don't think I did, but I'm just going to scroll back.
That's what I think, Natalia. And I'm not even like a heavy plotter by any means. I'm a good in between. But yeah, I feel like if you at least have some idea of what you're striving to reach in that final chapter, then writing out a brief little summary of that chapter helps, I would think. But people are different.
I'm getting better at just outlining, because usually I know how the book's going to end and I know like a general sense. But it takes me, sometimes I can't figure it out until I write it. And then I have to write stuff incorrectly and rewrite. And if you outline, you just save yourself a lot of time. We should have a t-shirt that says all about the breadcrumbs.
Right?
That's our takeaway for the day.
Yep.
Were there any other questions?
I never got to write the word of the day.
Oh, yeah, neither did I. I don't think anyone did. Did anyone gain 10 points for their house? All 3 of the Gryffindors here failed. So the next write-in is on Brooke's channel.
yeah,
We'll let you know when that date is.
I'm not sure yet what we want to do,
Mhm.
but it'll be in March.
When we figure it out, we'll let you know. So yeah,
I am having a live stream on my channel this Wednesday. If there's any morning writers out there, because it's at 5 a.m. on my channel on Wednesday, 5 a.m. Central Standard Time on my channel on Wednesday. If anyone wants to write in the mornings, in the wee hours of the morning with me. Actually, I had a pretty good turnout last time I did a 5 a.m. writing sprint. I was very shocked. I was like thinking,
really?
Yeah, I was like going, there's probably gonna be like 10 people who show up. And I think there was like a consistent like 30-ish people.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like going, dang, I did not think that I was gonna have many people at all.
Mhm.
And so it was pretty well, we worked really well in the morning. I yawned a lot.
A Bookish Obsession got 10 points for Slytherin. Ryan got, oh no, sorry. DL Stewart got 10 points, but I don't know what his house is. But either way, we failed.
Yeah.
Gryffindor loses.
So that, I'm just gonna wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed our little our live stream, be sure to follow all of our YouTube channels. Brooke and Natalia's is linked down below. We do these every month on each other's channels. And we got 10 points for Gryffindor from DL Stewart. Thank you. Tied with Slytherin. And I didn't even have to do anything. Oh, and got 50 points for Moon. I don't know. Does that count, buddy? Can you guys see this right now?
Oh.
That actually had really good timing. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. We'll see you guys next month or next week on our own channels. So thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, shoot.